Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of Be Patient, Be Present, Be Joyful of 2019. I realize we are already into March. What can I say? I had a little bit of a hibernation period there, so I am now out of hibernation, out of hiatus, with the first episode of 2019, which I believe is episode 25 in the grand scheme of things. Be Patient, Be Present, Be Joyful audio blog. This episode I'm calling "What are you pointing at?" You, what are you pointing at? And the concept is this. Often I talk about what are we looking at, what are we thinking about, but to put a much more physical understanding of what is actually going on when you're giving thoughts to things that don't serve your purpose, or when you're giving energy to situations from the past that may not be serving you. When you're sitting there thinking about something, the worst case scenario. So if you're thinking about the future and you're trying to create a business, or you're trying to create a career, or you're just trying to create a relationship, or whatever it is that you're doing, and suddenly we go to this space of, we naturally want to protect ourselves from getting hurt by even stepping into this endeavor of whatever it is. And so we start looking at all the different ways that we could get hurt and what the worst possible result could be. And so we don't realize we're doing that. We're really, on some level, we just think we're protecting ourselves. We're trying to figure out to play it safe or analyze or be realistic. We get that a lot. I'm not being pessimistic. I'm being realistic. Well, if that's your reality, then that's how's that working out for you? But on a, to bring it back around, I'm saying, for me, what are you pointing at? When you're giving your energy to these things, when you're thinking about these things, when you're talking about these things, if you decide to picture yourself literally pointing at them, like, this is what I'm pointing at all day long. What could go wrong? What my worst case scenario is? What so-and-so said in the past? What I said in the past? How I might have behaved that someone else might have interpreted in a way that I'm not even certain, but I'm still going to sit here and worry that they don't like me because of it. What are you pointing at? Stop pointing at things that don't serve your purpose. It's okay that happens, right? You look at it, but you don't have to sit there and stare at it and point at it for hours and days, sometimes years, depending on what it is. I mean, I understand different experiences affect people in different ways, and I've certainly had my share. But I think, as long as we're consistently learning and trying to decide what we prefer to be pointing at the very least, give yourself a chance, give yourself a choice. You're in charge of your life. You're the author of your story, and you decide how it goes. It doesn't always feel that way, but if we're constantly in reaction mode instead of responding mode, that's where the difference lies. So point to things you want to bring into your life. Point to conversations you want to bring into your life. Point to self-awareness you want to bring into your life. Point to adventure, relationships, you name it, whatever you want. Sit down. Most people don't even take the time to think about what they want to bring into life. We get so caught up in just the routine of life and doing what we've been doing for the past X amount of days, which sometimes turns into X amount of years. Decide to do something a little bit different tomorrow. Point someplace new. See what it brings. Create a new habit of pointing someplace new or something new every day. Or just decide what it is that you want to be and point at that as often as possible. Every single moment of life, you have an opportunity to decide what you want to be thinking about. It doesn't always feel that way, but I promise you it's true. So next time you find yourself caught in a spiral, or just not in a good space, energetically, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, if you're in this place, what are you pointing at? What could you be pointing at instead? How often can you point towards something new? Or can you decide on something that you want to point towards every day and have that be your safe place to point? When you find yourself in a spot of like, here I am, I'm looking at this bad thing that happened, or that I perceived as bad that happened 2 weeks ago, and I'm still thinking about it. Well, point at something different then. Point at something great. Point at something that inspires you. Point at something that brings you, the inspiration to be creative or to love somebody. Point at somebody who you're grateful for. If there's somebody in your life who you just are always happy around, point at them for a little bit. Don't let them see you do it because it's rude, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, that's my message for this week. It's good to be back. Thank you for your patience, and thank you for your listening. If you're seeing this on social media, let me know your thoughts, comments. And if you are not listening to this on social media, whether it be on iTunes or Stitcher or something like that, find me on social media. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. I would say the places I probably participate most are Facebook and Instagram. And you can hear these on YouTube as well. So anyway, thanks for being you. I appreciate your awesomeness. Decide what to point at, and I hope you're pointing at me. Goodbye.